Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go.
I think we need to call this the shadow side series of the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast, because the topic I'm bringing to you today, last week was quitting, and this week is regret. I mean, these are just all depressing topics, but you know I'm a big fan as a heart-centered entrepreneur. I'm someone that's generally positive, but honestly, being positive can sometimes bit me in the butt because I'm someone that's naturally empowered. Like, how can I fix it? How can I change it? In a relationship, what can I do that's my part, right? As coaches, we're naturally very empowered, which is good, but often to a fault, right? We're not looking at what does the other person need to do? Okay, maybe I gave it my best and maybe it's time to quit, right? So today I want to talk about regret. And the reason I want to talk about this is something I've really been battling personally for the last few years. I'll share a little bit more context, but recently one of my clients expressed more regret when it came to I launched this webinar and it went great, but I wish I would have known how to launch webinars the right way sooner, right? And it just kind of hit me how much is heart-centered women. In business, it's a really big learning curve. So we're micro failing a lot, like I talked about last episode, but we're also we're making a lot of mistakes. The more you're changing, the more you're growing, the more you're risking, the more you're failing and sucking and things aren't going well. And so when you rapidly grow, you have a lot more to regret. Let me say that again. When you rapidly grow, you have a lot more to regret. What does that sentence mean to you? It's similar to me when I say when women go from just making a few sales here and there, making a few $1,000s a month to making 10, 20, 40K a month. In order to do that, you're getting more visible, you're on more sales calls, you're facing a lot more rejection, you're hearing a lot more no's. So ironically, the more successful you are in business, the more no you're going to hear, the more, even if you're in the big picture succeeding, right? In the micro, you're also going to be having more negativity. I work on this a lot with my clients too, when their businesses grow and they end up having a lot of clients, and maybe they end up having a client here or there that is upset or wants a refund or something, right? When you have 3 clients, you may have nothing wrong, right? When you have 50, 100, 400 clients, to have 5 people that are upset or it's not working or you have to refund or something, right? There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that the volume is so much bigger, right? As you are growing your social media account, maybe you get someone that disagrees with one of your posts and they write a comment that upsets you, right? Let's say 100,000 people saw the post and you get 2 mean comments, right? That is going to sting way more than when you have a social media following of 100 people, 18 people see the post and no one leaves you a mean comment. You know what I'm saying? So I think our brain does this thing where all we're seeing is the failure, where we suck, when someone is unhappy with us. And as heart-centered entrepreneurs, one of the biggest things I work on with my clients is, what do we do when someone's unhappy with us, right? What is our job? Our job is to show up and do our best, but sometimes our kids, our clients, our partner, our friends, our team members may be unhappy with us. Obviously, if we're continually getting feedback, we want to be open to that. But in general, as we're growing, as we're leading, we cannot base our behavior based on keeping other people happy. Obviously, people need to be respectful back, but they may be upset. They're not a robot, right? It's safe for the people in your life to have an emotional reaction to you, to your boundaries, as long as they're being respectful. But again, remembering as I'm growing, as I'm taking courageous action, My kids are like really into tongue twisters lately. So every time I'm in the car, there's a new tongue twister. So you think I could be better at this. But it's really seeing that in this topic of, let's talk more about regret again, right? The more you grow your business, the more that you're shifting and growing, the more regrets you're going to have, in the sense of, I wish I would have known this sooner. I wish I would have done this sooner. I think our brain does this interesting thing to us. I see this all the time. When my clients have a goal and they don't meet the goal, they're like, oh my God, I didn't meet the goal. There's something wrong with me. When my clients meet a goal, and I'm saying some of my clients have met amazing goals, right? Hitting their first 500K year, 700K year, right? Often it'll be, yeah, but XYZ. Yeah, but I should have done it sooner. Yeah, but I wanted a bigger profit margin. Yeah, but whatever reason, right? Our brain always sees how we could have done it faster or better, or, moves the metrics so that we have another goal to move to. And I think our brain creates regret as a way to try to get us to learn things faster. But it's just remembering, again, for me, the more risks I take, the more positive change I make, the more regret I have. But to me, that's better than the regret of not doing it, not trying it, not risking it, right? It's a little safer to play it safe. But in my mind, we're going to have regret either way. So anyway, I'll just share a little more personally. For me, in my personal life, I have a lot of regrets around, like, I should have done this sooner. I should have done that sooner as a mom, whatever, right? In therapy, I've worked through a lot of self-forgiveness around really believing the phrase, this is like an annoying therapy phrase that all therapists say, right? But like that we do the best we can with the information that we had. And for me, I've had to do a lot of self-forgiveness work and really see that the version of me that I am upset with, or that I regret, or wishes should have taken action or done something different sooner, right? It's so interesting because I usually don't regret that I made the wrong choice. It's more that I took too long to make that choice, right? Or I took too long to do the thing that I wanted to do. And even saying that is so interesting because it's like, yeah, but you did it eventually, right? But I think so often we're judgmental on that. Sometimes it takes time, it takes courage, it takes another attempt, and really knowing that it's not always the extra, on the surface, these things sound easy, right? Like getting a divorce, getting visible online, signing a paying client. But it really is so much of things that have happened in our past that hold us back, that cause us afraid to be seen, to be visible, to be rejected by our community, to make the wrong decision, to not be able to trust ourselves and our gut, right? To maybe be over-serving and caretaking of others and not trusting ourselves and thinking of ourselves. So it's just been a big thing I've personally been thinking about on my regrets, and just being able to see the former version of myself with more love and more forgiveness and more acceptance and more compassion and more understanding, right? When we think about our friends or our clients, we would never tell them like, oh my God, okay, you met your goal, but why didn't you do it sooner, right? We would say, you did it in your way, in your time, and that's enough. And that's something to be proud of. And yet we don't talk to ourselves that way. I know I don't talk to myself that way, right? What I say to myself is like, you should have known, you should have done better, you should have been braver. Other people had it worse, right? Really, and again, this is the shadow side of being an empowered woman, right? Being an empowered woman says, I can do it. What can I do? What can I change? Right? Is number one, often we stay in situations too long because we're trying to fix it and we're trying to stick it out. But also in hindsight, we really oversee our responsibility in the situation and we don't give enough weight to other life. There's other things around us that contribute to how we can react and respond. Like as women, the resources we have, right? Financially, we need financial resources to be able to do things and make changes, right? We also need support, right? We also need community, right? We really rely on community. And often if we are leaving a belief system that we grew up in or that feels like challenges the other people in our life, that sense of belonging can feel like as real of a survival threat. We don't want to be rejected by others. We don't want to be isolated by others, right? As we're making these changes. So I just want to say, if you've had a regret or two in business, give yourself grace, give yourself understanding. I'm a big fan of forgiveness. I'm a big fan of writing letters, whether it's to someone in your life, whether it's yourself. And I actually used ChatGPT for this the other day. I really wrote myself a mean letter to my former self because I was mad at myself for not making some of the changes I wanted to make faster. And I asked ChatGPT to write a letter back and just really had this conversation, right? In some therapy things, it's called like parts work, right? It's also, if you've done one of my coaching programs, you know, I teach like the 2 voices exercise where we really give 2 different things a voice. And for me, I really asked ChatGPT to help me reconcile these 2 voices, right? The voice of me, of where I am at now with my own knowledge and my understanding, and the former part of me that wasn't me, who I am now, right? I didn't have that knowledge. I didn't have that understanding, right? I'm not where I am today. And so easy for us to judge our former self from where we're at today, right? Of course, hindsight's 20/20, as they say, right? But I think for me, I'm still in this path of working on forgiving myself, giving myself grace, and really trusting that I did do the best I can, that I am walking on my own path, that as ambitious women, we always want to go faster or whatever, but really knowing that trusting that our path is our own, putting on our blinders and really knowing that we're exactly where we're meant to be. You are where you're meant to be. If you've been this week comparing yourself to maybe a past version of yourself that had more resources or didn't have kids, right? Or maybe a future version of yourself of like, oh, when I'm not dealing with this or that, then I'll finally. Don't compare yourself to yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. You don't know what they're going through. All you can do is be present with where you're at today. What do I have today? What do I want to create today? How can I honor where I'm at? How can I show up for where I'm at? How can I make money where I'm at? Those are the questions you should be asking and really being gentle with yourself when it comes to regret. And maybe you want to pull up ChatGPT and have that conversation too, or not, maybe just manually on a Google Doc and just reconciling and coming, for me, it's coming to peace with the past version of myself, right? And I think what that allows me to do too is have peace with the next version of myself. And again, really seeing it as like, this is a good thing. It means you're changing. It means you're growing, right? It means that you're expanding. It means that you're risking. And I'm just trusting that you are on the right path. You are pacing at the perfect time. And if you want support from a coach as you are growing and changing rapidly, or maybe you want to grow more rapidly than you have been, I would love to invite you to the Sell with Heart Mastermind. And feel free to sign up for a CEO session if you have any questions about 6 months of private coaching support with me in the group program. I would love to support you in creating a $300K year on a 3-day work week, or whatever your version of success looks like for you, whether you have a done-for-you business, a coaching business. I would love to guide you and support you. Sending you a big hug.
Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.